Fight Night champion to the penitentiary and beyond. Okay, this is a new Fight Night champion coming out next year. The new Fight Night, March 1st, 2011. They showed a teaser trailer a couple of days ago. Get your mouth wet, get you thirsty for a new Fight Night. It's actually got me thirsting for one. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. On paper, it's looking real good from what I've been reading. But you know, I don't want to get too excited and be let down like I was Fight Night Round 4. I know some people love that game, and that's all fine and dandy, but I wasn't one of those guys. I like a realistic boxing game. I like things that are in the boxing game that's more realistic, that simulate the actual sport, which sounds like Fight Night Champion is trying to do. They're going to do away with all those gimmicks people fell in love with. You know, because once you start putting stuff in a game that's not a game, and then you start getting another crowd of another crowd of people that's liking your game. And then you're trying to satisfy them. And then you're trying to satisfy the guys that want realistic. They just said, fuck it. We're going to make boxing. We're just going to make a boxing game. I can't, you know. And that's what they should have did last go round. But, hey, you learn from your mistakes. New Fight Night is coming out. I show this trailer at the end of this video. They're talking about some things. Sounds like it's going to be a lot of career stuff in here for you guys that love this career mode. That's all fine and dandy. I love career too, but if the gameplay is not up to snuff, guess what? I ain't going to be playing it, you know, but that's just me personally. I got to have my gameplay right. You know, you waiting every 2 years is a long time. And, you know, I want to be able to pop this in and be able to this should be a classic. But anyway, let's talk about some of the things that I'm liking. And you know, I made some videos for Fight Night Round 5, I didn't know what it was going to be called, and some of my suggestions that I wanted in the game, people thought said that it's just a video game. It's just a video game, but it seems like they're listening and they're putting it in the game. As far as when you're blocking, you can throw punches even when you're blocking, and when you get hurt, or knocked down, when you get knocked down, let's say you get knocked down the last 10 seconds of a round, depending on how bad you hurt, you can still be hurt the beginning of the next round, just like in real life. Let's see what else. They did away with the gimmicky haymaker, the slow stuff where, you know, Mike Tyson's winding up, stuff that he never did in real life. And I keep saying real life because even in this write-up they say real life, but I'm not going to spin here and find it so you guys can see it for the haters. But they got a modifier punch instead. You know, if you hold the button and do your button, hit the analog. The analog, the total control punching, gone. I wasn't a real big fan of it. I knew how to use it, but some guys got real good at it. But, you know, out of 100 people, really only every 100 people, maybe 10 really played that game. You had to be super hardcore of that control scheme to even like that. I like what they're doing now. They got a full spectrum control where you just hit the analog in the direction and it's doing the punch. You know, you don't want to be sitting here trying to do an analog, move the analog with total control punching, concentrating if you're doing it right, or if you're doing it, you throwing one punch you're not even supposed to be throwing, and all this other crazy stuff. You know, just like when we went from buttons to total control punching, and those same guys said, don't knock it till you try it. The same thing applies right here. Don't knock it until you try it. Buttons are in, which is fine. All the casual, everybody can play the game, you know. And they got all the other control schemes, I'm assuming, still in the game for all you guys that want to play with those control schemes. Now they got fatigue on your arms. You know, your arm, you can throw punches with your arm and you get tired, you know, just like real life. Your arms, your torso, your legs, everything has a rating on it. Not just your legs. You know, last Fight Night, if you got tired, your legs got slow, which was stupid to me. It shit was crazy. Even the knockdowns. I don't know if this is in the game, but when you get knocked down and you get up, you still shouldn't be moving slow like they had in Fight Night. You should be able to move around, but your equilibrium should be off. So it is what it is. Only thing that has me worried for real is they got this thing in here called one-punch knockouts. You know, it could be the first punch. Let me see. It could be the first punch of the round or the last punch of the final round, and you'll see a person get KO, floored, and they won't even have an opportunity to get up. The ref won't even count. You know, guys like Paulie Malignaggi, no matter what, should never have that kind of power. You should never see Paulie Malignaggi knock somebody out cold. So that shouldn't apply to everybody, mainly heavyweights, the guys in the heavier division. From time to time, you will see it in a lower weight class, like, you know, with Manny Pacquiao knocked out Ricky Hatton and he was out, you know, stuff like that. You don't see it too much in the smaller weight divisions, but you do see it in heavyweights, you know, more so. I hope they have that tweak. You know, I don't want to be seeing some crazy stuff going on. Then they have to, you know, do all these patching it to death. But shout out to Brizzo, the producer and stuff. Looks like you guys are finally listening. What else? Let me see. You know, oh, they talk about. Okay, now that's something else. Okay, they have a modifier punch. You know, when they took the haymaker out, if you hold the button or whatever and do the analog, you know, it changes your punch from a normal to heavy punches. I was looking for medium type punches, but you know, I guess we'll see. But you will be able to tell a big difference from when somebody's trying to throw a harder punch. They might punch slower, but for guys like Mike Tyson, hopefully, you know, that guy was a beast. When he was a Kid Dynamite, he could throw punches pretty fast and pretty devastating. So let's get that right, EA. Oh yeah, on that full spectrum control, the new control, they actually have more punches in the spectrum of the analog than you would at using your buttons or total control punching. For all those guys that love using the total control punching, you know, it was good to do the motion on the punch, but it is what it is. They got more punches, the shit in between. They didn't really go into detail on that, but, you know. Anyway, from what I'm hearing, the counter punching has changed. No longer will you get froze in time like you was in Star Wars and you had the Force was with you. You know, that's gone. That's good. They have an actual real counter window in real time, so you have to do it on your own to get it to counter somebody, which is good for all you unrealistic, abusing cheeseheads that played online. Thanks. I'm glad they took that shit out. The blocking is more of a winky right style. You don't have to block every corner of your body. You know, you back, you know, which you don't see in boxing really at all, hardly, if you do see it. They have it where, you know, you got reflexes, and if you time it when you hit it just right, you know, depending on your guy's rating, he can block, you know, to the body or whatever. But if a guy start mixing it up on you, then, you know, he can get through. Like real life. Notice how I keep saying like real life, because that's what they're aiming for, a realistic boxing simulation of the sweet science known as boxing. The arcade stuff. They might put an arcade mode in there for you guys that love to play arcade style, like the freezing and the corner game where you can get stamina. You can choose to get stamina. You can build up points and stuff like that. You know, they might have that in there in a special mode. Don't take my word for it. I'm just guessing. I'm just, you know, but they might not. You know, do away with all that fake stuff. It's an M-rated game, first M-rated game from EA Sports. You know, they cussing and stuff in there, throwing the F-bombs. It starts out when you're in prison. But it sounds like, man, they've been doing their homework, man. They listening. I'm about to show you guys this trailer of this fight night that came out a couple of days ago. I'm trying to see if I missed anything. Block is handling, tweet, whatever. Alright, whoop-de-whoop. Anyway, alright, let me show you guys this trailer. Oh yeah, before I forget, if I want to see what's up on the body shots, man. I want to see body shots. Body shots, if you really work the body shots, giving your power, whoever's, you know, if you were like a Kodo, you should be able to take steam out somebody's punches, man. You know, somebody's going against Mike Tyson, man. If you concentrate on his body and work his body, before long, man, you should be able to take some steam out those punches. You know what I'm talking about for those guys that watch boxing. Remember when Sugar Shane Mosley was fighting at lightweight and he used to always concentrate on the body? He wears his opponent out, but the body shots, man, it take the juice from them, man. Take the juice out their body. They be juiceless. Not actually juices, but it takes some juice from you, man. It really does, man. Hopefully you guys can get something in there where body shots matter. That's really important when it comes to boxing, if anything. The body shots, man. You got to get that body working. And I'm looking at the screenshot. Is it just me or do I see a referee in the fight? Remember guys used to say, man, that ain't realistic. We ain't worried about that. But it really does add a lot when you got a referee in there calling shots. You know, not just when you low blow or hit somebody and you see if you're on the referee's other side of, if you're on the other side of the ref and he can't see it, you can get away with stuff like that. Like in real life, not to say everybody's dirty, but sometimes you get a Bernard Hopkins type of a guy and he's hitting you with below the belt and in the hip and all that other stuff. You know, a guy giving you a standing 8 count. You know, there's a such thing as a standing 8 count. Anyway, I had to touch on that before I get off. But yeah, back to this video. Alright, actual game footage for those who can't read. It's at the bottom of the screen. You notice right off the bat the graphics is looking really crisp, real good. But hopefully they get these guys' styles down, because fighting at round 4 everybody was fighting damn near the same, man.
Every time some clown gets hurt.
Nobody wants to fight the same. It defeats the purpose of having buying downloadable content for extra fighters. If everybody's fighting the same, just the only difference is height and reach. Everybody shouldn't be able to bob and weave like Mike Tyson, man. Only certain people, man. They need to get that right.
That's what champions do. They get back up.
Everybody's different. Anyway, man, it's looking good. Graphics look real good. I want to see some gameplay footage where it's just showing the actual fight so I can really break it down for you guys. We only got a couple of months. Hopefully they'll go ahead and do that here before too long. Alright.